Gary McSheffrey! At last a goal! McSheffrey, that's neat. That's very neat. It's Gary McSheffrey, and it's a hat-trick.
Talk about, because you sent me that photo earlier. What was that team you played for? And how did you meet at that team?
Oh, guys, so I sent Kieran across that picture when we were kids at Ernsford.
Oh yeah. No, we'd already met. We'd already met and played we played against each other the season before, under 10s. I think we probably played for maybe like maybe the league representative, pick of the league it was called, wasn't it? Yeah. We might have had a game or two for pick of the league already, but then Tom come to Ernsford on under 11s, didn't you? That summer, that pre-season. So you'd done under 10s at Athletic and then under 11s at Ernsford, and we had a good team. It was, mate. It was the August window, wasn't it? It was a great addition for us. Great addition. We didn't win anything. We didn't win anything at under 10s, and we went the double, didn't we, at under 11s, 12s. No, could he played with his mates at under 10s, then realised he weren't going to win anything with them. So he jumped on the bandwagon, didn't he? Jumped on the glory bandwagon, mate. He seen that we had that potential. We were just missing one or two little parts of the jigsaw.
Hey guys,
and he come and started winning trophies, mate.
Hey guys, I weren't a little part though, was I? I was quite a big part, to be fair.
Oh Jesus Christ, big lad, eh?
I was a 10-year-old in a 15-year-old's body, I think, wasn't I?
Mate, he was like Sad Sack out of the Raggy Dolls. We played 11s and 12s, and then we had to go and play for Coventry under 13s. So had to leave Ernsford and go and play for the Cov Centre of Excellence. So I knew we won the two finals there 2 years on the spin. We're just a bit confused, wasn't it, on which was which. But yeah, no, that was the first year. That picture the other day was our first win. And then the year after we won again, and you scored that. Tom scored that worldie to win it for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was. I think it was just a bit of a whack, wasn't it? And it just, because the goalie weren't the tallest, it just flew in.
Nah, he's being a bit modest there. He had a good left foot. He had a great left foot.
The 3'4" goalie and a full 11-a-side goal, didn't they?
So you go to the Centre of Excellence after that. How does that happen? Do you get scouted playing for Ernsford?
Yeah, you get scouted. So at that point as well, so at under 11s, we just joined secondary school as well, haven't we? Year 7.
Yeah.
So I went, obviously, Bishop Ullathorne, Cuddy went Caledon Castle, and at that point as well, then you have Saturday morning Coventry schoolboys football, don't you? So if you play for your school, you go in there, you go to the Coventry schoolboy trials as well. So me and Cuds were playing from under 11s, we were playing for Ernsford together, we were playing for Cov schools together, pick of the league, and then from playing for your city, your Coventry schools, you played for your West Mids as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You'd get into like the county team as well. So we were busy times back then, different games every week. But yeah, obviously there was that many games and teams knocking about. Coventry City had decent local scouting network, didn't they?
Friendly league team at the time, wouldn't you?
Lola and Ray scouted and got us all involved there, and we had a really good team, you know, from through the age groups. Loads of us got offered scholars, and you know, we went all the way through really.
Would a lot of the teams be the same? So the West Mid team be the same as the Cov team and the Ertford team because you all played together, or was they pick and choose out of each team?
Yeah, they'd pick and choose. So like the West Mids team would choose. There'd be 4 or 5 of us from Cov schoolboys. There'd be a few from like Erdington and Saltley. There'd be a few from Birmingham schools, Walsall schools, weren't there? There was some decent ones, to be fair. There was some decent lads, decent era of football, wasn't it? Coming through at that age, it was decent era, to be fair. Still had its old school morals and that, and but proper. We used to play against some real gamey lads. The lads from over Birmingham way, really gamey, weren't they?
Yeah, God. We had
carry on.
We had a really strong group, guys, didn't we? A lot of our players were either playing at Cov School of Excellence, or a few of the boys were at Derby, weren't they?
Yeah.
Where was there?
There was a couple at Wolves, couple at Walsall, couple at Birmingham. Yeah, there was a few, mate. There was a couple at Villa. So there was, and I think everyone probably went on to get scholarships, didn't they? Probably a pro deal at 17, 18. Not everyone went on to like make it, but three or four did, had quite a decent career. But back then it was.
When, do you remember before you went to Cov, before you signed at Cov as an apprentice, you and me, we had a couple of little trials. Do you remember when we went to Forest?
Went to Forest and Everton.
And we went up to Everton as well. I'll tell you what though, do you remember we went to Everton and we were like, with both of us, we trained out our skins, didn't we?
Yeah, it was good. It was good, mate. It was different, wasn't it? It was different. It was almost like going to Everton. It's like they were we were such a good team at Cov, but it was basic, wasn't it? It was we just enjoyed training. It was possession. It was their warm up. It was possession, and it was like little games, wasn't it? Maybe a passing drill. But Everton at that age, even at under, what was it? We were under 13s, weren't we? No, we were under 14s. But coming up to your 14th birthday, you signed schoolboy forms, didn't you? Which was a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So it ties you in. So we were kind of like just keeping our options open a bit, weren't we? Exploring other avenues, really. And going to Everton, mate, they were like, it was like they were a few years ahead, wasn't it? They were doing in-possession stuff, out-of-possession stuff, team shape, playing as unit work. It was just like a bit of a different level, wasn't it?
What was the difference between Cov and Everton in the Premier League at that time? Was there a big difference in the league positions, or like was
not massive?
Not massive, no.
Not massive. Everton always mid-table team, weren't they? Cov were like always 16th, 15th, battling it out to stay up at the end of the season. But on any given day, we'd normally beat Everton at Highfield Road, and Everton would normally probably beat Cov at Goodison Park, But yeah, both Premiership clubs, but just it was a bit special. We had a trial, we had training there, and then at the end of the training few days, you had a trial. We had a game at Goodison Park, it was, and it was class, and great stadium. It just had a good feeling about it. It did, Everton, and looking back, we were never going to go there, but looking back, like it was an eye opener. It was an education. Even the short period we had there, it was like, yeah, this is the level that this is the sort of like game intelligence you need and education you need. But we probably went back to Cov and better players, and yeah, just Cov. We had a good team. We had a good team at Cov, but I think I don't know. Don't really know what I'm trying to say, but both were really good. Both were good.
Guys, I think when certainly we were all cut from the same cloth, weren't we? We were all local Cov lads. We were playing, we were doing well at Cov, and other teams were sniffing around us, but we were always sort of thinking, we want to play for our boyhood club. We want to, you pretty much lived across the road from the stadium, didn't you? So, your family's Cov through and through, and moving to go and play somewhere else that was kind of a bit of a sideways step more than anything. It just didn't really seem right at the time, I don't think.
It was, back then it was obviously Cov being a Prem club. It was, you look at, imagine that now, you look at that now, if a Cov academy player now got if Everton wanted a Cov Academy player now, they'd just pay the compensation and it'd be done with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The player would probably go, get a good deal at a young age, be looked after, maybe be housed, maybe even house the parents and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Continue his education. So we were doing it really, weren't we? Because, like you say, we wanted Cov to. It was almost like pull your finger out, make us an offer, because we knew at 14. Back then, you were getting offered your scholarship and a pro at 17, weren't you? So we knew. I think it did the trick, like going there, going Forest. I met the Villa scouts as well. they were mad for getting me there. Again, Villa was top draw, wasn't it? Top setup, good teams. But at that age level, we used to beat them all, didn't we? We used to beat them all. So it was always a case of there's no point. Like, I'm at the best. Not so much are we at the best, most like what's the word? Like the best club with the best facilities, but we were with our friends, weren't we? We were still one of the best teams, best bunch of players. So it was, yeah, like you say earlier, it was a sideways movement, wasn't it? But we were just really doing it to see what it's like and get Cov to pull their finger out, really, wasn't it? And it worked in the end, because eventually they offered us the YTS, didn't they? YTS and a 2-year pro at 7 when we turned 17, and we knew that then from 14 years old, didn't we? Year 10, really. Yeah. Year 10 in school, when you used to have your careers meetings, they'd be like, right, what are you going to do? What do you want to? What avenue do you want to go down? And it was like, well, I'm joining Coventry. I'm getting an apprenticeship scholarship there, YTS. I know, but really a real job. And this didn't quite get it, did they? And probably took our foot off the gas a bit in school because of that.
So I think let's go into when we went into Cov, and mate, I've got to be honest. Probably my best memories of football, just living at that lodge and just hanging out there. Like, it was almost just going into training. You just look forward to it every day, didn't you? Full time football.
Yeah, it was good. It was good banter, wasn't it? Good fun. I lived at home, but got in at 8:30 and didn't leave till about 6:30, or sometimes on a Monday night, maybe even later, because we'd have our meetings, wouldn't we? Our video of the games. So yeah, it was almost like being there 24/7. But you lived there, and you had the old cupsy doubles every night, didn't you? And the big communal baths and that. It was like there was always something to look forward to, wasn't there? And off the cuff things had just happened, so it was 17, 18 lads living together. It was good. It was good upbringing, mate. It was a good environment to be around. Very good club to be at. It grounded as well, didn't it? It prepared me really well for going into quite a long career of the standards. Because I was, it was just down the road, and like my mum could take me in every morning, and then living at home as well. Or living.
You ain't living there.
Gaz had a bit of a different.
Living at home as well. We got a little bit of extra money as well, didn't we? So we got the old expenses and that, didn't we? Accommodation expenses. I think it was like 90 quid a week on top of whatever. So my old dear, my mum had 30, and she put 60 in the bank for me every month. So 90 a week. So that money would come in. I'd get 60 of it in a bank. She'd get 30 for my digs, for my board, and that paid for a holiday. That paid for lads' holidays in the summer and that. So I was thinking ahead, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For lads' holidays, not houses, no.
So Gaz was obviously, although within our youth team and whatnot, and a big part of our youth team. He was, I mean, how long into it was it before you made your debut, Gaz? Because I remember coming to Villa Park to watch.
The debut was end of February. So that was what,
The 27th of February, I got it. Yeah.
6, 7 months in. But I made a squad. I think I made a first team squad literally after about 3 games of the season, a Carling Cup game or a Coca-Cola Cup game, whatever it was back then. And I didn't get on the bench, so I was like 17th man because we started the season well. I think I've scored in the first 3 games, and I don't think they were scoring. But so they chucked me in the squad, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" 16 still.
Was this with Gordon Strachan?
Yeah, that would have been Gordon Strachan. Yeah, I remember Trevor Peake just saying, "Chef, guys, you're in the squad. Have you got a suit? Get your suit on." I'm like, "I ain't got a suit." So I've not got a suit, mate. I think I borrowed like one of my brother's suits back in the day. It didn't even have a collar, mate. It was like a granddad collar suit. And I obviously got involved. We trained a lot with them, didn't we? Quite a bit with them.
Yeah.
Played quite a lot. You broke through into the reserves first. Peaky loved you, the reserve manager, and you made the 10 appearances first, didn't you, in the reserves before anyone?
I had to. It was nice memories the other day when it was the FA Cup final. Did you sit and watch that? Did you see it on ITV on Saturday?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Just watching Peaky was. He was just a laugh a minute, wasn't he? He was probably
that little back pass when Oggy went when Oggy had a little crazy 30 seconds and he had a little mazy and tried to ping one with his left foot. And then it got to Peaky, and back then you could pick up the back passes, couldn't you? So he's tried back passing one to Oggy and it's ran past him. Peaky was very good.
We'll skip along a little bit from the youth cup and all that kind of stuff, because what we're keen to hear about is your career when you went into you started going into the professional game as such. So when you've made that, you've obviously had a good spell at Cov, and then you've Birmingham have caught you've caught the eye of Birmingham. How did that come about?
I think obviously Eric Black had been the manager at Cov, hadn't he, a couple of seasons before, and he got sacked. Peter Reid come in, and Eric shouldn't have really got sacked. He was doing really well, and he was a good coach. Really ahead of his time. Really spoke 3 or 4 different languages, so communicate with everyone. It's an eye opener. Really, I was, really, really good coach, and raised the bar really for me. And when he went, didn't think anything of it, and I'd had another couple of seasons at Cov, done well, playing really consistent, and then Birmingham come in that summer. We were in America with Coventry pre-season training, and I think Bruce rang Mickey Adams, offered £1 million or something at first, and he told him where to go and that, and then I honestly didn't think anything of it, mate. I didn't chase things, it was never involved in any transfer speculation. I mean, nowadays, Jesus, it's like 4 or 5 games and there's speculation, isn't there? But maybe I was a bit naive. Maybe I should have chased it, mate, because you only have that one career, do you know what I mean? But I was always quite loyal, and like you said, whenever something did happen or come, Reading the season before, I mean, I remember meeting the Reading head of recruitment, Brian McDermott, went on to manage them, went on to manage Leeds. Nicky Hammond, their like chief exec, I think he was at the time, and Steve Coppell was the manager, and they were like mad. They were really keen to sign me. It's when they had Sidwell, they had Kitson, they had a real good team. Glenn Little. It was basically, again, they were a champ though. They were similar to Cov, really, weren't they? Finished 7th or 8th, 9th. And I seen it as a side of his movement, and didn't do it. And Cov were moving to the Rico that summer as well, so that was another reason I wanted to play at the Rico. Obviously, being local and that new stadium. And then that was the year Reading won the league on 106 points. I'm like, they're all
Did they
they're
sign
all
him
in the
instead
top.
of you then?
Oh mate, honestly, so I was there and umming and ahhing, and because I was a free transfer, because I think I was out of contract. So how old was I? I was out of contract. No, I'd have only been 22, 23, so they'd have had to pay a compensation. It would have probably went to a tribunal, and they'd have just had to pay a compensation. And then, so anyway, in the end, I turned them down, signed a new deal with Cov, and Cov ended up giving me better money than Reading were offering. So I thought, fair play, Cov, they've come up and produced the goods. They really want to keep me. And so when I said no, literally, the player that they got in to instead of me was Stephen Hunt, and he was having a medical at Bradford. He was literally he got off the plane, because I think he was at Brentford with Coppell before, and he got off the plane to go and have a medical at Bradford, and I think they rang him and said, look, don't sign for Bradford, come to Reading, because I'd signed a new deal at Cov. And again, mate, and what a career he went on to have. That Reading team, that whole Reading team were like, that Reading team, they were tremendous, and they all went on to have probably 6, 7, 8 really good years. He went to Reading, he went to Wolves, he had an Ireland career out of it, and Ipswich done really well, and fair play. But yeah, so going back to the Birmingham one, it was obviously the summer after, and when there was the speculation, Birmingham had just come down from the Prem, and I looked and I thought, didn't think much of it, but then I actually looked at the Birmingham squad, and I seen they'd made about 10, 11 new signings. They'd had a right clear out of players from the previous season, and they signed some good players, man. And they had some really good players in their squad as well, that from the season before. And I looked and I thought, this squad's top draw. Like this wouldn't be a sideways movement. Although it was the same league, they were like prepped and gunning for the Prem again. Bounce back straight back for promotion. And when it went on for about a month, but eventually they stumped up the money that Cov were happy with, and went there, mate. And it had a really good couple of years there, and then probably most consistent I played the 3.5 seasons before I left Coventry, and then the season and a half there was probably definitely the best part of my career.
Yeah, I was just looking through your Wikipedia. I don't know how accurate it is, but you won the league. You were League One champions with Luton. Did you actually collect a medal in that, or did you play enough games there?
No, I didn't get a medal. No, I had a loan spell there, but nah, one of them, mate, didn't get a medal, but
Yeah. But and then you went to Alex McLeish took over at Birmingham.
Yeah.
Because Steve Bruce was a big fan of you. Because I'm a big fan of squad numbers. Love squad numbers. And you were 28 in the Championship, and then they gave you number 11 in the Prem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that
Yeah,
as like?
I kind of like.
I'm the number.
No.
Number 11 now.
What it was, I liked. Ideally, I wanted 10, but Cameron Jerome had signed before me, and he took he was number 10, and he was decent, good young striker. So 28, I liked 28. I'd been 28 at Cov. It was the reverse of the year I was born, 82 as well. So things like that get in my head and stay in my head. And I've had 28 at a few clubs, and yeah, going to 11, I didn't really want to be. I should have just stayed 28, to be honest. But
is there a weird expectation when you take a number like 11 or 10 or 9 or a big number?
Probably. I think that was probably what it was. It was like, right, we're going into a Premiership season, and I'm number 11 for a Prem team. You know what I mean? So it means you're a starter, and
Yeah.
You know, the shirt's yours to lose, doesn't it? So yeah, it took 11, but then I changed 11 as well, because we signed a lad called Chucho, striker. Bless his soul, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he had number 11 on his tattooed on his back. that was the number he wore back in South America. It was a number he wore for his national team, and he was a good little player. So I was happy. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't even fussed to release the number, to be honest, and I think I moved on to 19 then.
But is it a case where they come up to you and say, "Oh, do you want this number?" Or did you go and request a new number?
Now the kit man was a nice old boy, and he was like, "What number do you want number 11?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm not sure." And then, but yeah, I ended up taking it. But yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I should have just. I mean, nowadays a number's not really anything. You've got your squad number. Some people stay in that squad number for their whole career, wherever they go. So, looking back, I'd have loved to have just kept 28 for a long time.
Yeah, we're running out of time there, Tom. Is there any way you can?
I've hit the upgrade button, but I don't know what it'll do. But I'm sure it will kind of. Guys, just with the Birmingham thing, I remember there was some characters in that team, weren't there? Because you were quite pally with Nicholas Bentner.
Yeah, mate. There was yeah, like I say, we signed some good young players. Like the three from Arsenal: Bentner, Larson, Mwamba. We'd signed Cameron Jerome, Neil Dans, myself. Then we signed like Rowan Vine. It was already with the lads that were already there as well. It was a really good place to be, mate. Really good environment, good banter. We had a good little squad of you for going out and having a good, social as well at the right time. So
I remember a couple of nights out with you. I remember seeing Nicholas Bentner with this like fur coat on. I just remember his fur coat.
Mate, he was a rare breed, mate. One off kind of breed, harmless, lovely lad, big time, massive time, but harmless with it. You'd laugh at it. If you knew him, you'd laugh at it and know it was just harmless. If you didn't know him, you'd think arrogant. But good player, mate. Good player, but really hard. Probably as a manager, it must have been hard to manage. I mean, he's the first lad I've seen wearing Ugg boots. He used to come in in a juicy couture Valeur tracksuit and Ugg boots, and we'd be like, we used to say like, Nicholas, mate, you've got your missus tracksuit, and boots on. What's happening? And he was just like, yeah, I tell you what, yeah, I'm setting trends, man. I'm setting trends. You wait and see. You'll all be wearing these. You'll all be wearing Ugg boots next year. To be fair, a few people did.
You must have come across a few characters when you've been playing at different clubs, and I know some of the guys that I've had when we've been out for a couple of beers and bumped into, or you've been with these boys and seen them out and whatnot, and because you've got a little bit of a wild streak to you, Gary, haven't you?
Yeah, looking back, I suppose so. I kind of like an all or nothing kind of person. Do you know what I mean? I can go months without like going out, not a problem. But then if we do, then we might as well have a good go, eh?
There you go. So obviously we have a bit of a laugh on our chats and things like that, and there's some cracking pictures of you, isn't there? When you did you ever struggle with your weight and whatnot?
I didn't think I did. But you know, pictures don't lie, do they? So yeah, but no, yeah. I don't know. Back then, 24, 25. Yeah, I was bigger than I was now, and stockier. Used to do more gym back then, but yeah, put a few pounds on round the cheeks. I remember one summer. But you know, you only live once, don't you?
I remember. It's quite interesting because you see a lot of footballers and a lot of celebrities and whatnot, and people that have been sportsmen. They look better now than, you know, Flintoff, people like that. They look more athletic now than they did when they were playing. I mean, you've never struggled with the six packs and whatnot, have you? But you know, you are quite partial to a chocolate biscuit. I know that.
Yeah, I've got a sweet tooth, but I think it's just growing up, mate. I think it's having children and just, yeah, and then I don't know. You don't train as much, so you probably eat a bit better. Like I don't eat meat anymore. I'm nearly 2 years now without eating meat, so yeah, maybe that's keeping me a little bit leaner these days. I don't really drink that much now, you know, having a young family, young kids. Don't really go out Saturday night, stuff like that. It's just the norm now, is just staying in, a couple of beers here and there. So yeah, I mean, look, if you when I was playing and, you know, younger, you play a couple of games a week and then you go out on a Saturday, have a few beers, and if you're doing that quite often, then it obviously takes its toll, doesn't it, at times. It's not that I was a big drinker, but like I say, if we did go out, it was like we were going out, weren't we, to get drunk, really.
I said to Kieran, like, I'm kind of guiding us through it a little bit, just because I obviously know you so well and know the some of the funny bits and bobs that have gone on. But what I'm keen to know, in terms of like characters that you've come across in football, and you know, like people who have either made you laugh or, you know, just kind of been a little bit eccentric. We talked about Nicholas Bentner a little bit, and you know, he was obviously quite a funny guy, and I only come across him once or twice. He's you know, you can see that he's comedy gold. But is there anybody else that you kind of springs to mind?
Yeah, well, Nicholas was like like I said, mate, he was funny, but it was a lot of it was kind of like attention seeking, mate. He was young, he was a bit immature, and loved the attention, and did silly things and was flashing that, but genuinely like funny lads and that. There was a load at Cov, mate, especially when there was a load in the first spell, you know, but especially when I went back, we had a great group when I went back 2010 for a couple of seasons. You know, we had like Richard Keogh, Martin Craney, Aaron Gunnarsson, Freddie Eastwood, Clive Platt. You know, it was good team, good banter. You know, we'd do a lot as groups, and so, you know, we'd have barbecues. You know, we'd do a lot as a team and stuff. And there was loads, mate. Keogh's a funny lad. You know, Gunnarsson's a funny lad with his Icelandic accent, isn't he? And,
do you know what? He's I think he's one of them players where, you know, he was at Coventry, and obviously I knew he was one of your mates, but then they knocked England out of they beat England in the group stages of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And he just shot to fame, didn't he?
He went to Cardiff,
he'd been doing well at Cardiff before that, but Iceland, they did well. He was involved in a really good under-21s team, and that under-21s team virtually most of them just went into the first team squad over the period of like a year or two.
Yeah.
And so again, they've all sort of come through together, and that was the squad, that was the team that made the World Cup, made the Euros, and unbelievable, wasn't it? How well they did. And that just shows team spirit, doesn't it? If you've got
it's a bit like Belgium. Belgium did that. But like years ago, you'd never hear a player from Belgium, really. And then all of a sudden, Vincent Kompany brought, you know, then Hazard sprung up, Dries Mertens. It's weird how that can happen just from a youth team. All those players getting older and older, and they're all coming up together, and they're just powerhouses, and they become like the world's most expensive players. Some of them.
I know, yeah. It's just most countries in Europe now. The coaching, probably the investment they've put into it over the years, and the coaching and that, and how things have improved. They've all got better, haven't they? There's not really a poor team now in Europe. Even when you get the smaller nations, you know, in the qualifying groups, nothing's really a banker anymore, is it?
No.
You go to Eastern Europe and try and get a win. It's hostile. It's the atmosphere. It's really difficult, and they're all decent players now. A lot of them now are playing like in the Premier League and the top divisions, the top leagues in Europe.
It's a good segue really into international, because you played for England in the 19s.
Yeah, and I played for England at 18s, 19s, 20s, 18s and 20s, I think. But I was in the under-21 squad a couple of times. Once, again, one was out of the blue. It was after our FA Youth Cup final, first year scholar, 16. And I remember having to, what did I do? I actually missed, you know all that digs money I was saving up for a holiday. I missed the holiday because I got called into England the 21 squad from nowhere with like a bunch of players that were playing in the Premier League, and I just couldn't believe I was there. I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I've never even played for England under like 15, 16, you know, and to get called in the 21 squad was unbelievable. But I was there for a couple of weeks, a couple of qualifiers. I was on the bench, didn't get on. But then, yeah, started playing 18s and 20s with some really good players. You know, it was really good. Yeah, that was that really. You know, good memories.
Would you have qualified to play for Ireland or Scotland or anything?
Yeah. I 3 Irish grandparents and 1 Scottish grandparent.
Did they ever come in for you?
Well, the rules were that I remember we played with a lad at Scotland called Graham Maffey, and his dad was like a Scotland coach, wasn't he? Yeah. His old man asked me, and George Mackey asked me once in the youth team, and I never really took it serious. But I was in the England setup then, really, and so I didn't really do anything about it. And then, yeah, and then when I was really playing well, early to mid 20s, even then it wasn't like I was gonna ring up the Irish FA or the Scottish FA and say, oh, by the way, I'm available, or I qualified to play, because you know the rules weren't so clear then either. The rules were always chopping and changing. You know, if you'd played for an England youth team, you couldn't play for a different country from like the UK, you know, at senior level. But then the rules got a little bit less, you know, a bit more easy a bit. And even if you'd played a 21s game, as long as it wasn't a qualifier, you could then play for the senior team, couldn't you, for another nation? So I mean, back then, if the rules were a bit clearer, I could probably have had an international career somewhere. I think you know, an Ireland or Scotland at the time would have definitely been achievable and a realistic, you know, realistic thing. But no, they never come in. But like I say, the rulings wasn't as it wasn't as clear as it is these days.
Gaz, you know, so mate, if you look at your list of loans, there was some unbelievable clubs there, weren't there? You know, Leeds, massive club. You know, is there any? What do you think to those in terms of? Did you have one that you thought, oh, you know, this is somewhere I could go and play, or is there any of them that you would kind of?
Well, the plan was, Luton was my best loan. Yeah. That really got me on the map. I knew I was ready. Good. I knew I was a good, you know, decent player, and I could play adult football, and I was scoring goals. So I just thought, couldn't wait for my opportunity to come when I got back to Cov, and then I started playing regularly, and then the loan was brilliant. And then there was a few other loans where the timing, looking back now, the timing just wasn't right, but I was desperate to play. And, you know, big clubs like Notts Forest, timing wasn't right. I'd been injured at Birmingham, and I'd missed the majority of the season, and Forest were like scrapping for relegation in the champ. And but we were like top end of the champ at Birmingham, so Alex McLeish said I could go on loan to Forest. I think he'd knocked back Brian Clough at Derby, but Forest, I thought, right, I'll go there, try and make something of my season. It was like literally 2 months left of the season. I played 4 games, and my knee, I knew I needed surgery on my knee. It wasn't right. Billy Davis was the manager, and you know, he said to me, look, I want to sign you in the summer. I'm going to sign 7 or 8 players. They recruited quite well that summer. And, but he said, look, get your knee sorted. I want you fit for pre-season. And so I thought, okay, fair enough. I still had a year at Birmingham, but I knew that I weren't really in Alex McLeish's plans, and there was probably an out there, you know, if I wanted. And Forest would have been perfect, great club. So then I've not spoke to Billy Davis since. Gary, look, go and get your knee sorted. You know, I don't want you to miss a day of pre-season for me. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, I like it here. We'll see what happens. But yeah, never spoke to him since, mate. And then his assistant manager was Ned Kelly, who used to play for Wolves and Tranmere and Ireland and that. And then he became Mark Robbins' assistant manager at Scunthorpe. And so I seen him first time I seen him in ages. I went, Ned, I'm still waiting on that call, mate. And he's like, hey, chef, it wasn't me, mate. Fucking Billy, it was fucking Billy. You know, just deflecting. And I'm like, look, mate. At the end of the day, if you're not having it, then just say no. Just say it's not for us. But to say like to go how far you were going and never to call me, mate, was a bit poor. But no, like I said, I should have just being desperate to play and try and get some games but I wasn't right. I was kidding myself. I needed the surgery on my knee to repair. I had tendinopathy for best part of 8 months, and I was start season trying to rehab and this and that, and then another loan was Leeds. Yeah, I think we were mid-table in the Prem for Birmingham, and I was on the bench. I'd started 2 league games, and I think I was on the bench for like 18, 19, and come on in probably 6 or 7. So I was getting the odd appearance here and there, and I was in my last year at this point, and I suppose I was a little bit eager to play. And, you know, I mean, I was a bit naive because I thought if I don't play here, I'll struggle to get a contract elsewhere. But we finished 9th in the Premier League that year, the highest Blues had ever finished in years. And I just wanted to play, and Leeds were like top of League One. And looking back, you know, I probably underestimated them a little bit and probably thought, I'll go there. This will be a doddle. They were top. Yeah. They were up the top, and it was mate. Honestly, it's a massive club. I remember going to like play Yeovil away, Plymouth or something, and you go on a Friday night and go on the Friday, and they'd always bring like a couple of injured players as well in the squad. But what they'd do, they'd have to go and do like a player appearance that evening for a Leeds supporters club, you know, in Exeter or something. And it'd be packed, mate. There'd be 300 fans there. So that's called Leeds on Road, and it's like wherever they go and play, they always have an event, you know, at a local social club. Yeah. And honestly, mate, couldn't believe the fan base, and obviously knew they always got big crowds, but it was an opportunity. It was a club I thought, I can't turn this opportunity down to go and play for them. And but looking back now, I went on loan to League One from the Premier League at 27, and I don't think it wasn't. In hindsight, probably wouldn't have done it, you know, if I had my time again. But ultimately, it was a great squad. They were a great squad. Like
I went there. The midfield was like, so myself, there was like Robert Snodgrass, there was Michael Doyle, there was Bradley Johnson, Johnny Howson, who else? There was 6 or 7 top players, Neil Kilkenny, all international footballers that have all gone on to have decent, some of them Premiership careers. And so that was in League One, and I probably started nine games, got injured for a couple, and then sat on the bench for the last 8 or 9, and we got promoted. Great set of lads, but again, I was going there from not playing a lot or enough at Birmingham, and really probably expectancy level of hitting the ground running and making things happen and setting the world alight for them. But realistically, I probably wasn't match fit enough, to play well consistently enough. So again, but that was just me being eager to play. I mean, other players the lads at Birmingham couldn't believe I was going. They were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing going on loan to like League One?" I said, "I know, but it's Leeds, isn't it? It's not just League One. It's Leeds. They're having a bit of a beast, but they're still getting 30,000 fans to their games in League One." And ultimately though, I wasn't good enough there, and didn't play well enough, consistently enough. Didn't really. Looking back now, I probably didn't really train well enough, and the expectancy level probably got too much for me, looking back now, and without realising it at the time. But I'd have loved the longer career there. I really wanted to. I should have just stayed I shouldn't have went there when I did, and I potentially would have went there in the summer on a permanent contract.
When they're in the Championship.
Yeah, well, we obviously got promoted that season. My intentions was go there, have a good loan, and sign a permanent. But I think I'd have probably signed a permanent anyway, even without having the loan.
So, Gaz, one of the things that I've kind of said to you before now is when you come back to Cov, and I come to watch you a couple of times, and it was almost like you changed, or your style of play looked just different, because you were always that player. And I watched you. We've talked about it earlier, since you were 8-10 years of age, and mate, you couldn't stop you. You got the ball and you were gone. It was like you had just a target of the goal, and that was it. I've seen you pass I could probably count on one hand how many times you've passed the ball to someone in the last 10 or 15 years. But you come to Cov, and you look like your focus was more around keeping the ball. What do you think?
I think no, yeah, you're dead right. I come back. Obviously, I've just been to Leeds. I've been short loan at Forest, and 3.5 seasons at Birmingham. And I was in teams where I'm playing in the Premier. It was like a team like Birmingham. We used to set out probably not to lose, and you had to be organised, disciplined, good team shape. Hard to play through. Not hard to beat. And like I remember saying to you, I actually think I come back a more knowledgeable, better educated player. I knew I could play. I knew I had the wide midfield role, to a T, in and out of possession, especially out of possession, the positions that you take up, and being a team player. I come back a much better team player. But like you say, that sort of spark weren't there, was it? That sort of like greediness wasn't there. That probably a yard of pace had gone, and yeah, I think I was an unselfish player, but I was always, everyone's coming. I was always, no matter what, because I started up front. I think people forget I spent the majority of my career like left midfield, and the goals I used to score from left midfield were good numbers. And when I come back, I think I got 9 that season. And when I left, I got like 16, 17, didn't I? The last couple of seasons before I went. And so coming back and getting 9 was probably seen as, you know, what's happened is he's not the same player, you know, almost like failure. But I don't think people really appreciate and dug deep and looked at the job and the role you did for the team. Nowadays, bloody hell, nowadays you get wide men that score like 2 goals, probably set 2 or 3 up and get new contracts, you know?
Yeah, I remember.
But they're good players. They're reliable, good players. Keep the ball, know the roles, and the managers trust them. So therefore, I think it just changes a bit. As time's gone on, I think expectancy levels have changed in certain players. But for me, yeah, I knew that I'm my own biggest critic. But when I come back and then like you say, simple passes, for example, just knew it wasn't really about me going on trying to score, win the game on my own anymore. It was, look, I'm a team player. Someone else can have the limelight of scoring all the goals. Not a problem. You know, I think the real people, the real football knowledgeable fans could probably see that did a decent job for the team.
Yeah, I remember after I saw your tweet after Moussa Sissoko scored for Spurs after like 2.5 years. Everyone was raving about him. And I can't remember what you tweeted, but you weren't happy. You're like, he's been there for 2.5 years, hasn't scored a goal. Now everyone's saying he's the best player.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like he's a machine, and he's an engine. He played in that. He got man of the match in was it the Euros Cup final as well, or was it the World Cup final? A few years back, yeah. And but yeah, decent player. But if you're happy with your right winger getting 1 goal in 2.5 years, then bloody hell, I did okay, really.
Do you know what? It's changed massively, though, hasn't it? I mean, you know, even teams now, your fullbacks almost become attacking options now, don't they? They're attackers rather than the old style right back and left back defenders. They're an option of getting forward now, aren't they? Games massively evolved since you've stepped away from the playing side, anyway. But you're obviously doing your coaching now. Do you kind of look at the game differently, do you think?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you have to. Definitely do. You want. I think the key word is you need to be reliable. Now, when you're coaching, and the ultimate aim now is. I look back at us, and when we say we had a good youth team, we got to the youth cup finals, this and that. But ultimately, I've seen players come through at clubs like a few from Sheffield, and for example, teams like that. Even Cov in recent years, the Cov lads in recent years, great play. Probably didn't have a great youth team, didn't get anywhere in the cups, did they? But probably got 6 or 7 players out of it, come through, and ultimately in like professional development phase now at probably 16 years to 20, 21 years, it's all about developing players to be able to play first team and see what numbers you get through, and it's you do look at it different. Yeah, and you see some of the kids or the lads, the bad habits that they repetitively do, and I think over time, I think it just sinks in over time, doesn't it? But I remember our youth team coach George Mackey used to say that Arrigo Sacchi, you couldn't, if you had to tell someone a couple of times, then you could let them off. If you had to tell them 3 times, Then they had one more chance. If you had to tell someone the same thing 4 times, they're never going to learn. You just go mad at me. You just go mad at us.
Oh, I tell you what.
I think in time things just sink in, but no, going back to like the fullbacks and that now, the athleticism now of the players, especially the ones that make it at the top clubs, unreal, mate, unreal. They might not be as robust as human beings and be able to take as much as probably we did when we were coming through. Well, definitely, I know they couldn't. But at the same time, coaches can't get away with how we'd have got spoke to back then, for example, and sometimes treated, So it has evolved. Everything's changed, and I think it has made the modern youngster probably a bit more probably a bit more soft now, aren't they? They're probably a little bit more take things to heart. But the top ones are real athletes, and they're more, I think they're better prepared for elite football than we were at that age, in terms of their gym programs and their strength and conditioning training and stuff. I think they're developed now to be absolute. They're developed to be machines, mate. They're almost developed to be like some clubs now, some top clubs now, Cat 1 academies, Premiership. They won't recruit lads unless they've got the potential to be like an Olympic athlete. They won't take them in. You can be, unless your ball mastery skills are unbelievable and you own a game. Do you know what I mean? But they play a profile kids nowadays, and if you ain't reaching them sprints, them targets, or the height, the
just the general
athleticism,
physicality,
stuff like that. Yeah, your physicality and they can guess your height now. At 19, 20 from your parents, all your parents' stuff and everything like that, and you predicted heights and weights. And honestly, mate, the player profiling nowadays is the top clubs want potential Olympians, and then it's like they'll get better at football. Do you know what I mean? We'll coach them well, and that's how fast the game's got nowadays, especially at the top level.
So what's your thoughts on that? What do you think in terms of, obviously you're now working with the 23s and you're at Doncaster. In terms of that sort of physicality side of things, is that right? Is it wrong? What do you think?
No, I think you're getting your opportunity younger and younger now. You look at Cov the last 6-7 years, 8 years even. You're getting an opportunity at a younger age now because the circumstances the club got themselves in, the league they found themselves in, getting relegated to League One, then to League Two. You got to chuck them in, and you've got to be physically ready. And I think it's right. I think the best ones are the ones that are can physically deal with it.
The players that have come out of Coventry have been, phenomenal recently, haven't they? Maddison, Wilson, Christie. There's a handful of players there who have gone on to be Premier League players and established Premier League players, and done really well. But like you say, it's they didn't necessarily come from great teams. They were probably great players, good players in maybe average teams.
Yeah, I think Madison's youth team was decent. They've had a good few come through. They had like Khan Harris. They had Jordan Shipley. They had George Thomas, and then you had Bayliss come through a couple of years later as well, didn't you? So that was a decent team that didn't really get the results though, really, but you could see they were good players and not a bad team. But ultimately, mate, it's all about nowadays. I know now from now on, me going forward now, as long as I'm working with under 18s and under 23s, going to be judged on like what you pass on to the first team. Eventually, Darren Moore's going to go to me, guys. What we got? I ain't got any money to buy one. Who do you think can step up? And that's what I mean. And so going forward, it's like, if you need to, like I say, you need to make sure that the recruitment's right, and then the coaching's right, because it's your name that's on these kids. And ultimately, if I didn't think any was ready, I'd say, look, that they're not ready, or no one's good enough to step into your first team. And I've got no problems with that, because ultimately, if the recruitment's not right, then you can't really get the blame. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I think you're judged on. I'll judge myself on like how I develop a player, and will they get through? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But ultimately, I think that before they reach me, the recruitment's got to be right, and the academy coaching's got to be right. Because if they're missing out on all that nurturing there and the ball mastery stuff and game intelligence, by the time they get to me, it's going to be really it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to it's going to be hard to get onto the level and the intensity and the end product. Yeah, because ultimately they're probably not gonna make it if they haven't had the right sort of levels coming through the age groups. You know what I mean?
Good. Kieran, I'll just keep jumping in with questions, mate. So if there's something you want to throw in there.
As a coach now, it says things as young players do now that you look back on maybe you were doing when you were younger and thinking, why are the coaches annoyed that I'm doing this? Is there a sort of a thing in your head now, like you understand why managers were annoyed at certain things that maybe when you're younger you don't understand?
Yeah, definitely, but I often like backed it up with putting one in the top bin or something, and after you got moaned at or had a little row or something, you then they just like they can deal with it because you ultimately score goals or get the end product. But yeah, you can see it now. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Donny's a cat-free academy. We've got some good players. We've got some that ain't gonna make the grade, but that they're there for a reason. And I think academy football, my academy manager says, you know what, you ultimately you get the players you deserve. At our age groups, you get the players you deserve, and that's what I mean when I talk about the recruitment at the younger age groups and the coaching at the younger age groups. Because if players ain't going to be good enough and that end product's not there, then obviously something's not gone right before that, has it?
I think there's something that you've just said in terms of whether you're successful at Doncaster, or it doesn't mean to say that that's the end of your career. It just means that is not the club for you. It's just there's lots of teams out there where it might suit your style of play. You might be that one player that they're looking for. So you can only do so much in terms of a coaching perspective, but Darren Moore will be looking for a certain type of player, I would imagine, or fits the mould of the way the first team play. So it doesn't mean it's the end of the road, like you're saying.
Of course it's not. Ultimately, it's as I said, mate, I back myself on the grass, on my knowledge of the game, the way I interact with the players. I think there's a mutual respect there, and there's I'm approachable coach, very approachable, but ultimately, they know they can have a laugh and a bit of banter with me, but they know that when we're on the grass, it's time to work, and the standards are up there, and You know, that's how it's got to be. Like I say, that's me. That's me going forward. I think when you're involved in development football, you have to kind of like, if you get a player through, then I think that's probably going to be a proud moment. But
where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself?
The players need to be good enough. Do you know what I mean? The players you're dealing with need to be good enough, and at that age, when they leave school and they're coming into full-time football, they need to have a super talent, don't they? Whether you're the fittest in the team, whether you're great at set plays, whether you're a defender and you win every header, you're aggressive, you're a good tackler. You have to have some kind of like, you know, for me, real super strength. You know what I mean? Or you have to be decent at most things of the game. So nowadays, to have an opportunity to have a chance with the competition that's out there, the good young players that's out there at the top clubs, you have to really put the effort in and put the work in, you know.
So, Gaz, one of something that's just sprung to my mind is somebody who got in touch with, or I've been speaking to during the week a little bit, and possibly one of the funniest people that I've come across in football, but Big Evo. And obviously he's now gone into management and he's with Barrow and seems to be doing quite well at the moment, but I can't take him seriously. He's just hilarious.
Mate, he was on. He was doing we did the same coaching course. We did our badges in Northern Ireland in Belfast, and he was just the same, mate. Just the same as, you know, growing up with him. Just everything was just calm, casual, chuckling, banter, and he loves his little one-liners, doesn't he? And yeah, but he knows how he wants to play. That's the thing with him. He didn't want to go down the route of youth football or anything. I think he's got a presence about him. He's a big lad. He's had a good career, and I think he'll have a decent management career, because, you know, he's done well there on a bit of a shoestring budget, with one of the lowest budgets in that league, and got them playing really well. And he played for some good teams, and the Blackpool team he played for was top draw, wasn't it? And he's replicating how they play a little bit, really. You know, I think he sees Ian Holloway as a real mentor and loved playing for him, and I think he tries to do things very similar to how they did at Blackpool, but putting his own stamp on it as well.
Yeah, I think, like you say, that man management with what he brings is probably a strong part of his personality and what he brings to that club. So, but yeah, good to hear from him this week. He's certainly been having me. We've been having a few laughs this week. Mate, so I'm conscious that we kind of start getting wrapped up with this, but
I got given an extra minute, but yeah, we'll just wrap it up, yeah. Or
Gaz, last little bit. So, last question? What are you going to be doing then the next couple of years? What would be, you know, ideal for you? What would you like to do?
So I'm enjoying working at Doncaster. It's good for my experience. Learn the ropes, learn the job, and I'm not chasing anything. I'm in no rush to, like, you know, chase anything better or higher or anything at first team level. Just happy, like I say, getting the experience and learning the ropes, and I think in time some good opportunities will probably come my way, and enjoy working with the youngsters at the minute. And ultimately, you know, it'd be nice to one day, you know, mate, when I do the coaching badges and stuff, you know, at the St George's Park, and you see the England youth teams and stuff, the 16s, the 17s, the 18s training and stuff, and it'd be nice one day to be involved with, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's they're probably the targets. Just do as well as I can at Doncaster, not get ahead of yourselves, but make sure that when one day something does come up, that that I'm ready and got the knowledge and the experience, and I know how I'd want a team to play, how I'd want them to set up, and because you see a lot of people rush things, get an opportunity too early, and you never hear of them again, do you? After that one job, so it's not something I want to do. Like I say, I've got a young family. I'm in no rush to, I'm enjoying life at home at the minute.
Brilliant.